And now the hot seat. And here's your host, Melva Williams.
Welcome to the hot seat with Melva Williams. Today I'm here at the beautiful Tourist and Convention Bureau here in Shreveport, Louisiana, downtown. Absolutely fabulous place to be. And I'm here with Kelly Wells, the Executive Director of the Sports Commission.
Well, thanks for coming out this afternoon.
I am glad to be here. This is such a beautiful facility.
Yeah, we renovated our old visitor center probably about 5 years ago and brought in the cypress trees. And really the visitor center is a welcoming mat for our visitors coming in the area and a lot of our community leaders that come in for meetings. So I think they did a really good job in decorating everything.
A spectacular job, and if our guests have not had an opportunity to come and visit the Visitors Bureau, this is an opportunity for them to get on down and see what you've done with the place. It's absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, and if you're looking for something to do, just come on down. Of course, it's shaded.
Yes, under this beautiful tree. Well, we're here to talk about so many things, but I have you in the hot seat today to talk about sports because that's your area. And so we want to talk a lot about the activities. I mean, I've just being a citizen here in Shreveport, just seeing so many things happen on the sports side has been really phenomenal, and it's it's attributed to the success of the Sports Commission. And I just want to talk a little bit about that today.
Well, you know, we had the hotel motel proposition on the ballot last fall, and so it's in a way a lot easier fall this year. Last year we were trying to get that tax passed, and of course we had Mayor Tyler and Mayor Walker and just tons of folks, the Independence Bowl folks, the RASA folks, and so a lot of folks, since we were successful in getting the proposition passed last year, have asked me, well, it's got to be easier now that you received your funding, and to be honest, it's quite the opposite. We made the commitment to the community. If they voted, and they overwhelmingly voted in support of the tax, I think it was 82% in Caddo and 84% in Bossier. But now it's bringing all those events in and really holding to those commitments that we had the voters come to us on.
Yeah. So how has that, I mean, you talked a little bit about the changes, but how has it, benefited the community? I know the community really thought it to be a great idea, and of course, like you said, voted overwhelmingly to support it. But, what now can, voters see that really just, make it spectacular for them in their vote?
We know it's exciting, because some of these larger events take 2 or 3 years to really get in place. So we're kind of behind the 8 ball in a little bit, but of course, right after the tax passed, we had the Grambling game. The great thing about the Shreveport Bossier area is we're Sportsman's Paradise.
Right.
Even within an incredible state, they've nicknamed us the Sportsman's Paradise. So, the Sports Commission doesn't own a venue, and so everything that we do, we've got partners involved with.
Right.
It takes the media, it takes the venues, it takes the sanctioning body. I think there's over 300 different sports out there that are available, and one of our biggest assets is our location. So, we kicked it off last November. Now we get the proposition passed. What do we do with it? We've got a great board that's made up of both cities and both parishes. We've got a community advisory council that's over 50 that we meet on a quarterly basis and really determine what direction we take our resources and our funding. So it's really exciting.
That's such a collaborative effort, and I think that's some things that a lot of people don't really realize, that it takes a lot of partners to make things happen. And speaking of making things happen, it just amazes me on how you guys can get such phenomenal events. I know a couple of years back, or maybe was it last year, you had the NBA game, to come to Shreveport. I mean, things like that are really exciting to folks in Shreveport that don't have a local NBA team. How does all that happen?
Well, it starts with relationships, and with the Pelicans, it was actually October 2014.
Yeah.
We went down and took a couple businessmen down with us to New Orleans, met with the Pelicans group. Of course, that's when Anthony Davis was first, coming out and really making it, a big appearance. And we had the Saints and the Cowboys preseason game a few years ago, and we really felt like the economics with the NFL football was possibly beyond our reach to do something at the stadium. 52,000 versus Jerry Jones Stadium.
Yeah,
100
it's
plus.
It's hard to compete.
Yeah, even the Superdome, it's getting harder with.
Right.
But the Pelicans, we went out on a limb. We said, give us a chance. We doubled their biggest preseason game in 2014.
Wow.
Sold it out, and we'll have them back on Saturday, October the 1st. Of course, Dallas Mavericks, really it's a pit between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks. We did a little survey. What we found out was it was pretty even when we did that poll in 2014, but I think with the success of the Pelicans and even them coming up here, I think it added a few Pelicans fans just from the exposure they received.
It's so hard, when you talk about Texas and New Orleans, there's a lot of great rivalries there, even between the Cowboys and Saints fans, even right here in, Louisiana and Shreveport. So I think this will absolutely be a spectacular game. And so you said it's on October?
Yeah, Saturday, October the 1st. It'll be at
Great.
the CenturyLink Center. We really wanted to make it affordable.
Great.
And, I know NBA and pro sports is not necessarily affordable, but tickets start at $15.
NBA game tickets. I mean, you could spend upwards to thousands of dollars for seats,
Well, you can get them between $15 and $125 for courtside seats.
That's
so
definitely economical.
they went on sale already. Our advertising's not really even kicked in, and I think we've already sold close to 1,000 tickets.
Oh, wow. So it's time now to get tickets and go to your website. I'm encouraging everybody to go to the website.
ShreveportBossierSports.org.
Great. And I think that's going to be a spectacular event. So you have those big, entities there. But there's also, these classics that people just really, really, really get excited about. And I think one in particular, is having Grambling, of course, come to Shreveport and do some of those classic games. And I think last year it was coupled with the state fair. Is that going to happen again this year? And if so, how is it going to look?
Yeah, that's going to happen again. We're hoping for better weather. Of course, all 3 weeks of the state fair were just really tough. But Chris Giordano is a great partner over the state fair. Of course, Grambling has been incredible. Coach Fobbs, and just watching the game with Arizona last weekend was heartbreaking. But I think it really shows the strength and the direction that Coach Fobbs has taken the team.
Sure.
And just in getting to know him over the last couple of years, it's just super exciting to see what he's doing with that program. And so, that game will be Saturday, November the 12th, and I believe it's a 2 or 3 o'clock game.
Oh, that's good.
The band will be over. It'll be the final weekend during the state fair, so it's just really a great opportunity. The ticket to the game also gets you into the state fair, and again, we need better weather.
We need better. Okay, so we need to pray to the rain gods to hold it up at least for about 8 hours, so we can get to the fair, get to the game, see the band, and then go back to the fair.
I think it's great because it's 2 or 3 o'clock, so whether you come over and attend the fair in the morning, come over and shop, get your early Christmas shopping in. And I understand there's going to be some really good entertainment again this year as well.
Oh, that's going to be spectacular. So who is Grambling playing? I know everybody wants to know.
Alabama State.
Alabama State. Well, that's a big rivalry. So, and they have a good band, and you're great. Great fans, and so I'm sure this year it's going to be, it's going to be pretty spectacular. How does all of that come into the works, and how do you get to support those initiatives, to bring all of those schools here, into Shreveport?
It's truly a partnership. The city of Shreveport owns the stadium, so their staff really helps out and make it feasible to bring a football game like that over, because it requires, hundreds of employees, whether it's EMT, your first line responders. It's all the operational crew. It's the video board folks, because they got that beautiful video board over there. It's at Grambling, and of course, President Gallo's, a great friend, and super excited about the direction he's already taken the university in. It's the athletic director. It's the Shreveport alumni did an incredible job of pre-selling. I think close to 2,500 tickets.
Wow.
David Aubrey was really the local chair last year, and he's taught me a lot about sporting events and politics and all those things. But you got to have great sponsors like AT&T and others to really decide that we want the game here. Of course, whenever Grambling does a game here, it does give up, an opportunity to have a home game at home. So we want to make sure that we make it a classic experience, and we really put our best foot forward to make it work.
Well, I'm definitely sure that it's going to be spectacular, and I understand you guys have events like every weekend, right?
Pretty much every weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, some events we're heavily involved in. Some events we're just providing funding or other resources, advertising. The Battle on the Border is a great example this past weekend. Denny Rogers and SPAR, the city of Shreveport, just really brought out an incredible weekend of high school football.
Wow.
And so the great thing with something like that is you really are able to choose that weekend. Find a weekend that really your hotels need the business, your restaurants need the business. You've still got to work it all into the scheduling, and getting Texas and Louisiana to play each other. There's things within the coaches that they've really got to work on to make the schedules work out, and there's PowerPoints and all those other things.
Wow. Well, thanks for being here.
Sure.
And in the hot seat.
Well, it's not too hot.
Okay,
I guess
well,
we're under the shade of Academy.
Exactly, exactly. Well, listen, you stay right there, and we'll be right back with more with the Shreveport Sports Commission. So we'll be right back. You stay seated.
Coming up next on the Hot Seat, Sports Sales Manager Ms. Hill talks about marketing and sales, as well as new events coming to the Arklatex.
The G is for gifted. The G is for genius. The G is for greatness.
I'm a G.
I'm a G.
I'm a G.
I'm a G.
Come to Grambling State University, where everybody is somebody, and be a G.
Like us and share us on social media. On Facebook at The Hot Seat with Melva Williams. On Twitter at The Hot Seat Show 1.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the Arklatex with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road.
Hi, I'm Melva Williams from the Hot Seat with Melva Williams. Join me in the hot seat as we talk about politics, what's going on in the city of Shreveport, and all sorts of fabulous and interesting things. I know you don't want to miss it. The Hot Seat with Melva Williams.
Friday mornings on the V45. This segment of the Hot Seat is sponsored by iKoala Radio. It's just music, baby.
Welcome back to the Hot Seat with me, Melva Williams. And if you notice somebody that looks a little bit like me, well, this is my niece. This is Kaverlyn Hill, and she is the sports sales manager here at the Sports Commission. Welcome, my niece, Kaverlyn, to the Hot Seat.
Well, thank you for having me, Aunt.
This is spectacular for me, and I'm so glad you're here because you can tell us a little bit more about what's going on at the Sports Commission. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about you and your progression. I know that you know, so many people can be inspired by your story to kind of hear more about, you know, doing something, a dream job in a local community. So tell me a little bit about your background. Definitely. I know all about it, but I'll let you do it.
Right, born and raised in Shreveport. Well, you can say Rodessa, Louisiana as well. And so, graduate of Northwood High School, 2004. Sports has always has been my dream. Basketball, love basketball. So, 2014, I graduated from Grambling State University with a sports degree. So I'm just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do from here? So I did an internship with the Independence Bowl. Yeah. And from there, directly, the day that I graduated, my VP called and said, hey, you're not gonna have that long vacation because you're gonna start work next month. Wow. So it's just been a dream come true ever since then.
To work at a place as interesting and spectacular as the Sports Commission, right? How cool is that?
Off the charts.
Yeah,
Off the charts, definitely.
And it is definitely great to be able to promote, you know, something that you love so dearly, and to promote that in the Shreveport community. How do you see that as changing the lives of children and parents and families? How do you see that impacting the lives in Shreveport?
It has been a tremendous dream seeing these kids and their families coming out to something that I'm a part of. That I would love to go to, whether it's a basketball game, football game,
or the hot air balloon.
The hot air balloon rally that we had not too long ago. Battle on the Border that just passed. You see all those kids like, Mom, oh my God, they're running, leaving their parents behind, trying to get to the game. So seeing that and being able to bring it to life and promote it, it's been an absolute dream.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your role with the Sports Commission and how you support Kelly Wells and all the great things that he does with the commission.
Well, as sports sales manager, what I do is I go out and I reach out to the rights holders, which are the event holders who have these various events that we haven't had before. Sure. So I'll go out, meet and greet with them and say, hey, we want your event in Shreveport Bossier. After I get that initial contact, I come back and speak with Kelly, and we get the ball rolling from there.
Wow.
I just kind of put it in his hands.
Yeah, and it's like a great basketball team, right?
That's,
You
I
do
mean,
an
you have to
assist?
pass the ball, right? I'll have to give the assist, and he has to do the slam dunk.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, it's been a lot of slam dunks, and I think some things that, I've been just, amazed by are some of the other unique sporting events that you guys have brought to the city. It's not just the NBA games and the football games, the things that we all know and love. You guys have had some really interesting things. Like I think you guys promoted to try to get a horseshoe tournament and all sorts of interesting. So what are some of the unique sports that, that come to Shreveport?
Some of the unique sports, I would say, like the hot air balloon rally. You don't really see that often.
That's true.
So when people see that versus hearing about it, they're like, oh my God, look at those beautiful balloons in the air. And who would have known that Shreveport Bossier would host a hot air balloon rally?
Right.
And I mean, we had thousands come out for that.
Wow.
So we have different out of the box events that we try to promote.
Like the hot rod competition that's coming up or
definitely
past.
So. The NHR event, National Hot Rod Association. We have drag racers actually going down the street, Gillum, Louisiana,
not
Thunder
on
Road
Texas
Raceway.
Street. No.
Not on Texas Street. No, please, no. Out at Gillum at Thunder Road Raceway. I mean, jam-packed weekend. Seeing those race cars go down so fast, absolutely great.
Wow, and I know so many people are car enthusiasts here in Shreveport. We used to have an old car museum, which was one of the coolest in town. So what do you anticipate being the attendance like that of something, as unique as that? I mean, you have so many car enthusiasts. I mean, is that something that's like a niche market, or is it for families? I mean...
It is all in one event. You have your racers who come out in thousands, and then you have those spectators who come out in thousands. So it's a great family. One, who are the racers, and then two, you have the spectators. So it's all in all, everyone that comes out to see.
And I think that's something unique to Shreveport, is to have those unique things, because we don't have a local sports team. We don't have a Pelican. We don't have a Dallas Cowboys to get around, and to support, but to get those, those premier events. And I think another unique thing that I've observed is a lot of the high school, I think a wrestling competition and some of the other high school competitions. How does that come about?
What we do is the state normally sends us the request for proposal, and they say, hey, do you want this event? And what you have to do is you have to bid on that event. If they select your city, then they come to your area. So we sent out a bid for the state wrestling tournament, and we had it last year, and we have it again this year in February.
Wow, that's spectacular. How do you think that impacts, Shreveport?
I mean, it's tremendous. You have teams from all over Louisiana coming in to Shreveport to support our economic impact, and it's an absolute great thing for the city.
Wow. And then you fill up hotels, and then you get to make more money,
Definitely.
so you can do more events.
They go out to your restaurants, they go shopping, so it's just great for the area.
Yeah, and not just Shreveport, but Bossier as well, because it supports, they get to go to the boardwalk, they get to eat at really nice restaurants in both Shreveport and Bossier.
Right, right, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk a little bit about some things that are coming up.
Okay.
Now, that's what I want to know about. I'm trying to fill up my calendar, and I know my guests, want to do the same.
Right.
So what are some things that we can be looking forward to have some fun in the city of Shreveport? I know one thing I think I heard about is something about a battle on the hardwood. What is that all about?
Battle on the Hardwood Classic. That is a baby that I've helped to birth.
Oh, wow.
I met with Coach Cherie Sims last year. She originally met with Kelly before I came to the Sports Commission, and it was kind of busy at the time, but when I came into the picture, he said, hey, I want you to meet with Coach. I'm like, hey, I know her. That'll be great. So we met, and we had a great conversation about where her vision was going. She already had this Holiday Classic tournament going on.
Wow.
I want to take this to the next level, and I've been working hand in hand with her to bring Battle on the Hardwood Classic to life.
It's a basketball tournament.
Basketball tournament.
Okay, who's coming? Who can we expect? Is it high schools? Is this is high schools, right?
It is high school. We have 34 teams locally and out of town.
Wow.
Texas, Arkansas, down south, all over, coming into the area for this event. We originally planned for 16 teams, 8 girls, 8 boys, and we have 34 total now.
Oh, wow. So it's a lot of basketball coming to town.
A lot of high school basketball coming to town.
Okay. Well, we both played. If they need any old washed up basketball players,
hey, I'll play.
We'll hop in and cover. But But just in case, and we just want to spectate, how long is this? Because, 34 teams, how many days is this going to span?
It will be between November 17th and the 19th, and we have several area gyms. We have Fair Park High School.
Oh, wow.
Captain Shreve High School, Huntington High School, and then on Saturday, the main gym will be Centenary College. So those kids can play.
Wow, in the Gold Dome.
In the Gold Dome.
Wow. So that is spectacular. So you're working with Caddo Parish, I presume, to use all the gymnasiums.
Right. Coach has been working with her superintendent, Anthony Tisdale, to get all of those specs, referees, venues, all that to bring it to life.
Wow, that's spectacular. So not only are you bringing people to Shreveport, but people get an opportunity to see some of our, Caddo Parish schools and to play in some of those stadiums. And of course, Centenary Gold Dome is a really cool place.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And one other thing, is, I know the Independence Bowl is coming up and you've been working with that, but we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to bring Kelly Wells back in the hot seat to talk a little bit more about the Independence Bowl. I know you've worked with it before. Tell us about your experience with the Independence Bowl and how important it is to the community.
Well, during my internship, I learned that they're a family. So with a family, you have passion. They have a passion for what they do. And normally with the I Bowl, it's always either an ACC versus SEC matchup normally. But over the years, they've had some different colleges come in. But with the impact that they have, thousands of people will come out just to see that game. So we're hoping that we'll have some great weather this December for that game.
I know. Sometimes it's snowing.
I know. I'm like, oh my goodness. But this past year, the weather was great. It was warm, windy, and we had a great time.
Great. Well, I appreciate you, Manise. I love
Thank you so much, Auntie. I love you too.
And thanks for being in the hot seat.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll be right back. We'll go to commercial break. And you don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the hot seat with Melva Williams.
Later, Kelly Wells gives us the scoop on how to win tickets to the Pelicans and Mavericks NBA game.
We'll be right back with more Hot Seat with Melva Williams. Like us and share us on social media. On Facebook at The Hot Seat with Melva Williams. On Twitter at The Hot Seat Show 1.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the Architects with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road.
Welcome back to the hot seat with Melva Williams. I'm back, and I have you back in the hot seat. You thought you were out of the hot seat.
Had to cool off a minute.
Well, I'm glad to have you back. And so we want to talk a little bit about something that is really cool. It's called the Shreveport Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament. You have to tell me all about it.
Oh, we're super excited. For several years, a lot of the colleges want to play football over here, and because there's so few games available.
Wow. Yeah.
It's really hard to do that, and so of course, football's king in the fall and basketball's king in the spring.
Yeah.
We've tried to get some spring basketball up over here, and we've talked to the coaches. They always say, "You're out of your mind if you want to get me to bring a regular season game over to the Shreveport Bossier area."
Yeah.
But the next best thing is the Shreveport Bossier Holiday Classic, which is getting fall basketball. It's still not regular season games, getting them over here. And so we reached out to, Grambling and Louisiana Tech, and they'll headline on Saturday, December the 17th at the Central Link. We've got ULM and Northwestern playing, I think, the 4:30 game, and then Centenary and Millsaps College will play a 2 o'clock game. So this is an annual event.
Wow.
We've talked to Coach Banks down at Southern. We just reached him a little bit late, but this is an event that we'll do every year and hopefully grow it.
This is going to be spectacular. What kind of numbers are you expecting? Because I'm already seeing myself buying 10 tickets for myself. Me and my friends and family.
It's something new, but high school football's over with.
Yeah.
High school and college basketball is just really getting rolling.
Right.
There's not really but a couple bowl games on that weekend. So again, with the economic impact side, you get some men's basketball. Again, we'd like to expand it to women's basketball, in the next couple of years. So come over. Get your shopping done for Christmas.
Yes.
You're a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
You only got about a week out.
Well, that's usually that's how we roll. Exactly.
So, and then hopefully spend the night or at least stay and catch 1 or 2 games that maybe you wouldn't normally catch.
That's going to be spectacular. I can imagine, Tech and Grambling and, ULM. I mean, such great institutions and such good teams. So we should see some really, really, really competitive play.
Oh yeah, well, Coach Walker, he's ready to improve on last year, and he said he's ready to give Eric Conkle run for his money on Saturday, December 17th.
So it's going down. Okay.
So it's going down at 7 o'clock. So, yeah.
Well, one other big thing that everybody loves is the Independence Bowl. Do we know, everybody, I'm sure every time you walk through the streets, everybody wants to know, who are we playing? Who's going to be at the Independence Bowl? Can you give us any details as of now about what's going on with the I-Bowl?
Well, they've got the bowl, predictions every week.
Yeah.
And, it's super exciting to see the Virginia Tech Tennessee game.
Oh, wow.
At Bristol NASCAR Raceway, and have over 150,000 people in attendance.
Oh, my gosh.
That Virginia Tech was who played in the Independence Bowl last year.
Okay.
And so, I think with where we're at in the rankings, I think it's always great to see, Alabama a few years ago. Oklahoma,
exactly.
2 or 3 years from now, the teams are normally in the Independence Bowl are back up at the top. So it's super exciting. It's Monday, December the 26th, so the day after Christmas.
Okay.
It'll be nationally televised, and it's normally, mid to late November, early December before we really the first week in December before we really know who the matchup's going to be.
Yeah, but you guys had a big kickoff luncheon and all of that to kind of really drum it up. But I'm sure it's good. Now we just need to pray to the snow gods. We're praying for rain gods for the Grambling game. We need to pray to the snow gods to hold off the snow, because I remember one year it was like a blizzard. I mean, you wouldn't have believed it was Shreveport.
Yeah, that Snow Bowl with I guess was it Mississippi State and Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that was wonderful. I was actually in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was snowing like a half an inch. And I called some friends down in Shreveport who were at the Independence Bowl, and
said,
"Is it snowing up here?" And they were like, "It's snowing 8 to 10 inches here."
Yeah, turn on your TV and you can see.
I always choose the wrong. My timing's horrible.
So look, I know you wanted to do something special for the Hot Seat viewers and do some ticket giveaways.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that and how our viewers can maybe access some of the perks.
I want to first of all thank you for to our media partners. We could not do this without y'all, and so we know that you can't do it without your viewers. And so when we were talking when I was off the hot seat, we would like to give away a couple tickets to the Battle on the Hardwood in November.
Okay.
The NBA game on October the 1st.
Oh my gosh.
And the Shreveport Bossier Holiday Classic on December the 17th. So if you don't like basketball, then we'll try something different next year. Okay.
If you don't like basketball, you can just give the tickets to me if
That's
you
right.
win,
That's
right? Well, so how can we do it? Just go to your Facebook page, maybe?
Yeah, you can go to our website, ShreveportBossierSports.org, or you can go to our Facebook, Shreveport Bossier Sports Commission.
That's going to be great.
And
we'll put the link on our website, and we'll put it, it's down at the bottom of the screen, so they're going to all see it. And so it'll be a rough contest to get those tickets, because I probably can't win, but I'm really hoping somebody wins. Great, and we can get them there, and if they can't go, they'll give them to us.
Well, you let me know. We'll have you out anyway.
Oh, great. Well, thank you, Kelly Wells.
Thank
I
you
really
so much.
appreciate it. This has been super exciting. And to let our viewers know, couple of things that's going on in the sporting world in Sportsman's Paradise. Thank you for joining the Hot Seat with me, Melva Williams, and my good friend, Kelly Wells. We'll see you next week.